Okay, this is my Primal review of episode 9, The Coven of the Damned. I was very excited for this episode. I had extremely high hopes for it and extremely high expectations, and unfortunately it's an episode 8 situation again where it wasn't really what I imagined it to be. Even though it was disappointing to me, I felt fucked ton of notes for it. Because the places where it was good was fucking that good. Okay, so we open with Spear and Fang walk through the jungle. And Spear climbs up on a tree and he sees this magical, mystical light in the sky. It's green, vibrant green. It's a very beautiful color coming out of all this darkness and stuff. Kind of haunting in a way. The art was definitely top notch this episode. We come into the ritual. A bunch of more monkey men. Some have antlers like a deer. They almost look undead in a way. And they're performing a ritual on this caveman who's got all these green runes on him and stuff. Very striking imagery. They're throwing stuff in the fire, making the fire get bigger and bigger. I don't know if it has a purpose to cook him or what, but yeah, they're doing all kind of magical shit. And then here comes this pterodactyl with a wizard on top of it. A wizard guy. Bizarre. They're doing this chanting in one scene where they're in unison, kind of moaning. I was talking to my dad about it. He said he thought it was like they were mimicking the caveman's screams. I don't know about that exactly. To me, it just seems more like a chant, but I don't know. The designs are really intricate, I thought. So yeah, Pterodactyl Lord shows up. He gets off his pterodactyl. He's coming down. You gotta really wonder what the damned are. Kind of said they look undead in a way. It's very weird and bizarre. It's hard to know. And when I said talking about them looking undead, the pterodactyl lord coming down with his stick kind of doesn't have like leg movements. He's kind of like hovering, and his design is like a head, half a head. It's really lanky with no definable mouth. He looks a lot like one of the undead warriors in the episode Samurai Jack where he's in the graveyard. That's what he reminds me of, his design. As he's walking through the crowd of the damned, you come across this older looking female damned. And she looks kind of sad. You get the feeling maybe she's sick of sacrificing people or something to that effect. The fucking pterodactyl lord does a weird transformation thing where he lifts his stick up and there's all these serpents floating around, and he kind of, his body starts becoming like really malleable, and he kind of falls into a puddle and then gets back up and turns into a big black goop monster demon thing where he's got like less definable stuff. He's got like arms, legs, antlers out of his head, and like weird snake designs going on in his body. Looks a lot like Aku. I think it was definitely heavily inspired by Aku, because Aku definitely had moments where he would look like that, especially with the antlers. They look like his tree branch bullshit, right? Ashi's final design as well is a lot like this, if I'm remembering it right. I didn't really like that whole situation in season 5, but yeah, I think this might have been also inspired by her design quite a bit. So the pterodactyl lord sends a demon or not demon, a fucking snake. The like snake design on him comes out of him and goes inside of the caveman's mouth and goes down in his body and kind of swirls around in his gut. And all of the runes on him start going down into his gut. And the gut in Chinese Buddhism and stuff is the center of your chi. It's where all your energy coalesces. So in this particular instance, you get the idea that they're, kind of collecting his soul there, and then it, of course, pulls it out and back out through his mouth and into itself, and then he kind of rots away and dies and falls into a skeleton. The snake then enters the demon, becomes a baby. It goes in its gut, it gets all pregnant, and then it turns into an infant, and it pulls it out. It becomes a baby, and it hands it to the damned, and they can wrap it up in a blanket. And it's a ritual for reproduction, I guess, because they can't reproduce. This is very strange. It leaves a lot of questions. You don't really get any answers. The pterodactyl that the pterodactyl lord rode in on then has like a thing where his eyes kind of glimmer and he sees Spear and Fang watching all this. And the pterodactyl lord can see through its eyes. So it sees them and then it screeches like a banshee, and so I guess it does have a mouth after all, and sends the damned after Fang and Spear. The damned start chasing them through the jungle. They're showing up like the wisps or spirits. They're showing up, and when Spear hits them, they'll turn into like a wisp kind of and float away. It's really strange. It's weird magic shit going on. I don't know if they're ghosts or what their deal is, but clearly their physical body isn't quite so vulnerable. Again, you have a lot of these scenes with the eyes. The eyes are a big thing, Genndy stuff. A lot of piercing eyes coming out of the darkness. There's a scene where a bunch of eyes are looking at Fang and they all kind of coalesce into one, and that's the old woman, damned, and she comes over and she possesses Fang with weird damned ghost magic stuff. There's another scene where Fang is running through the thicket and he's looking on both sides of him, and there's two sets of eyes on both sides of him, and again it's like that scene with the hyenas in the first of these new episodes where they were on two sides of him, more like similar like Jack when Jack's being chased by the Kami. It's that kind of a deal, and it kind of gets chased to Fang, and then it kind of goes to a commercial break. I thought the opening of this episode was wonderful. That was all brilliant. It was perfect. A perfect opening. Probably my favorite. Well, it's definitely my favorite anything to come out of these new 3 episodes. It's definitely up there as far as scenes from the series. I could go back and rewatch this part of this episode all the time. This was just wonderful. It's fucking perfect. So then Spear is strung up by these vines and he wants to escape, and he's fucking screaming, and Fang comes by with the old woman on him, and his screams are breaking through her magic. So she keeps doing magic, and then she freezes time somehow. It creates a mirror, a magic mirror that she can jump in to go into history. And she watches the fucking first episode, and I'm not a fan of the first episode. I talked about that. I don't care about all this sappy shit. I'm not a person to be like, oh, I feel so bad. No, it's not my thing. She's learning about the bond. She's very curious as to how they came to be. When she's emotional for some reason, her eyes go normal. They're not glowing. Or maybe that's only when she's not accessing her power. I have no idea. There are times when she'll have normal eyes and times when she won't, and I think she's the only one of those creatures to ever have normal eyes, but I don't know. She hugs Fang because she's got like a maternal love situation going on. Spear looked really ugly in the freeze frame. She at first isn't going to let them go despite the fact she feels bad for them. We learned about her tragic backstory. I don't really care. I'm not here for all that. I don't feel for it, It doesn't make me feel anything, More of an action person, unfortunately. Though we do find out why she has such a connection to them, because she saw their babies get killed, and she one time had a baby too from this ritual. Once again, a lot of questions about this reproduction ritual. I'm curious if these children are the damned, or if they grow up to be the damned, or if there's something else entirely. There's a lot of questions, and you don't really get any fucking answers. She's taking care of the kid, and then the kid runs off a cliff and cracks her fucking skull, and you see her blood running down this rock from where she fell. Pretty brutal. You don't see children get injured in a lot of anything, so it's definitely striking when it does happen. Starting to get the feeling that Primal is made for people who have lost children, because it doesn't touch me, but I'm sure if you've lost a child, you definitely must be bawling your eyes out or something. I don't know, but it's definitely, I don't know what's with all the children dying stuff. I don't get it. She starts marking Spear up after we learn her backstory, doing all these runes and stuff. I thought she was maybe gonna mark him with anti-soul thing and let him break free and start fighting the damned. That was my guess. So anyways, the damned come walking by with their babies, and they kind of look at her and hiss at her and stuff. I think they judge her for not taking care of her baby and it dying. Not really sure. Her conscience gets to her, feeling bad. A butterfly flies by, which means something. But she decides to stop painting Spear. And then the ritual happens, and once again you're assuming there's going to be a big fight. The ritual looks beautiful as always, that vibrant green just really looks so good in the darkness. It's great art, very beautiful. The Pterodactyl Lord is definitely different from these damned. He's a unique existence in and of himself, although they do have similar abilities. It's clear they worship this thing, I think because they can give them children. I don't really know. The old lady kills the pterodactyl. The things do a lot more banshee wails. She uses Fang to kind of fight them for a second, the Pterodactyl Lord, and frees Spear. The Pterodactyl Lord transforms into a big wolf and starts fighting Fang. She comes down to, as a raven or something, or a crow, and starts scratching the Pterodactyl Lord, and controls Fang to take Spear and get the fuck out of there. It's obvious she's not going to win. She's just trying to get them away. She's gonna die, clearly, and you would think Spear's gonna come back and fuck them up and kill them. But no, she dies, and it's clear that Spear just can't deal with them. They're too powerful with their fucking magic bullshit. So they run away. And then there's a happy ending, I guess. She's like in the meadows and meets with her dead kid, because I guess she's dead. And they meet up. I don't know. It was a good episode. Again, it's on par with episode 8. It had a perfect opening, really great ideas, and then the second half it just kind of meandered a bit. I'm not here for the emotional stuff. I just want to see the action. Again, episodes 4 and 5 were really my high point for the series. That's what I want to see more of. This ritual was cool. I would have liked to see the episode go by the damned hunting Fang and Spear the entire episode in the jungle at night. That would have been really cool. See him fight them somehow. Obviously it doesn't work with the way they were because they were magic ghost things. But if they weren't and he could actually hurt them, then it would have been pretty cool. But it's also nice to know that Spear can't beat everything by being a fucking caveman with a spear. You know, there are things beyond him, which is nice. So yeah, love the beginning. Started to drop off. The ending was fine, I guess, though kind of predictable. Good episode, on par with episode 8. Not up to episode 4 and 5. However, I do have something to say about the Damned. I don't think this is the last we will see of them. I don't think in the next 2 episodes we're going to get like 2 more episodes of the Damned. But based on what we saw, they aren't one to let the sacrifice get away. So I think at some point we will see them coming after Spear again. It wouldn't seem obvious this being an episodic series. It seems like one-off ideas, but it wouldn't be the first time Genndy's brought something back. So I do expect to see the Damned come back into this again. I don't know what they're going to do to beat them. But I do expect to see them come back again to try and get their sacrifice back. I didn't end up watching the preview, so I had to look it up on YouTube. I don't know if it was a full preview. It looked really weird. There was like a first-person scene in a swamp, and it runs up and scratches a triceratops or something. I don't know. It's really weird. Fuck, I don't remember what it was called. Hold up. I think I saw it in my history here. Hopefully I like it more than this episode. I really wish this episode was more action-y. What? Oh, here we go. The Night Feeder is what it's called. Yeah, hopefully I like the Night Feeder. That'll be here hopefully in a few days as opposed to taking me a fucking week to record it.